Hello and welcome everyone. The game I've got set up here is Conflict of Heroes, Storms of Steel, the scenario called Graveyard. I already did a small introductory scenario and I just want to, well, tell you what my strategy more or less is going to be for both sides. Now the Russians have initiative, and my initial move I'm going to make is either move these on as a group move, and you don't have to check for a spend check. You don't have to make a spend check, and only the group leader becomes fatigued. So I will either make this move and place the Soviet units over here, or I will place these over here. That one will be my second move, or the other way around. I haven't decided on that one yet. What do the Soviets want to do? Well, they get points for destroying the German truck units. This is one, and here's another one. You may notice, for those of you who pay attention to detail, that this is not the Molche or Maltier. I'm actually not sure what it's called. That unit apparently only comes, I suppose, with the 3rd edition, and I actually have the 2nd edition here with the actual spent dice that I did somehow obtain from a very friendly Board Game Geek follower, subscriber, and he gave me those things as well as some cards that I believe are actually from Awakening the Bear, but I suppose they're similar enough to the ones that come with the 3rd edition, so this is certainly playable in that regard. But some stats are slightly different, but I don't actually expect those to cause any hindrance really to the playthrough. So what they basically want to do is one of these units will try to get to this particular abandoned Russian vehicle. That's what the vehicles denote, the Russian vehicles that are on a control marker. If they move into the hex, then you draw a hit marker and you actually get to use that unit as the Soviets. The Germans can destroy them. What the rules aren't really clear about is what happens if the Germans already cause them to get a hit marker and the Soviets move in. I don't suppose you draw another. I suppose you just have to wait and see whatever that hit marker is, and you would have to go with that one. That's just common sense. I couldn't find it in the rules anywhere, but that's how I'm going to play it. And as far as the Germans go, well, I'd like to get this unit into this hex over here, but that means that I'm first going to try and pivot it, because that's just a cost of 1 action point. Then I'll move it forward along the road, which is already a cost of 4, so there's quite a chance that it's going to get spent, so I might use some caps for that. And then I'd like to move it in the woods here, especially knowing, and that's the advantage of a solo game, that the Soviets will be entering here and here, so this is actually a great hex to be in. But of course it will take a couple of activations, and the tanks are obviously a lot faster, and they may want to prevent the Germans from getting to that woods hex. Another option would be to, these, at least one of them, will probably try to destroy this tank over here. It can't do anything while it doesn't have a crew. It's been abandoned, so I guess it could just move into that very hex and fire at it from close range with a +4 bonus, and that should be quite doable, I suppose, even though it's a strong tank that you can see over here. So that's definitely an option for the Germans. So I suppose one tank will try to do that. The other one will also try to get to the woods for some extra cover to take on the Russians. These units over here, well, one of them will probably also try to destroy that particular tank before the Soviets can get to them. Another option for one of these, they won't have to split up then, might be to actually try and get to this tank before the Germans do, and activate that one basically, if they can get a crew there, which simply means that you have to move into the hex, and then, as I said, you draw a hit counter, and assuming, supposing they already had one, that you would just go with that one, unless it's destroyed, obviously, then it's removed. And the Russians would of course also like to destroy this one, Well, this one is actually really in harm's way, so that might actually be, I guess they actually have line of sight to this one. I'll have to double check to make sure, but I think they actually do, or at least soon they will have. This one certainly does, and it has a range of 6. Well, okay, so that actually doesn't work, but long range, don't know if that would work. -2 firepower, but it's just against well, weak unit, so that's an option too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they just need to move 1 forward. So that truck will really have to be one of the first units to move. Actually, haven't looked that up yet. When you play with 4 players, whether you actually have to alternate commanders too. So meaning that I just put this here as a reminder because, funnily enough, German Commander 1 is on map, which one is it? 8, and then Soviet Commander 2 is on map 8, and vice versa for map 7. I don't actually know that if you play with 4 players, if you can actually activate the same commander twice or whether you have to alternate. I'll look that up because that might, of course, change the flow of the game and everything, and will really affect certain decisions that are going to be made. So, but that's a little bit about the possible strategy I see for this scenario without having played it. It's going to be the first time ever I'm going to play it, but these seem to be, well, these are some observations I've made while studying the map and exploring different strategies for both sides. So later we'll find out how that worked. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.